Yeah, so for today, this is Xialin, and I'm working with IQVIA China and under the OMAP studies team. So I'm mainly responsible for conducting the audit studies and also using OMAP analytics tools for the real world evidence research. And so for today's session, I will be introducing the two tools we use quite a lot in the ETL conversion process, which are VRAPID and RAPID. So here's an overview of the whole OMAP ETL conversion process flow. And so on the top part is basically a process flow of the whole OMAP ETL conversion and what kind of personnel are included in each of the steps. And on the bottom part are the tools that are required at each stage. So at the very beginning of the data conversion, so we have the source data owners and also the CDM experts. So they are getting together to analyze the source data and also design the ETLs back for the conversion. And also for the vocabulary mapping part, we have the medical expert or the clinicians who know more about the medical terms. So they also get together to help translate the mappings between the different vocabularies. And after the ETL spec has been developed, so we have the ETL developer, also the technical person who get the hands-on to implement the ETL. And after the whole source data are converted to the OMAP CDM, definitely the quality check was very important in making sure the data is usable and it's feasible for further analysis. So we have the QC part as the last part of the whole OMAP conversion to make sure the data the data follows the OHDSI standards. And so for today's talk, I will be introducing the two stars of the day, which are the RAPID and the RAPID ahead. So for the VRAPID and the RAPID ahead, so both tools are quite heavily used in the analysis of the source data. And so firstly, we will use the VRAPID, which performs the scan of the source data, and it also provides the information such as the field information and the table information information on the source data. So and after that, we uploaded the scan report from VRAPID to RAPID ahead, and using the RAPID ahead, we have the ETL spec generated from the RAPID ahead. But as for a note here, the RAPID ahead only generates the ETL specification, but it doesn't generate the code. Doesn't generate the code for that. So firstly, I will be introducing the VRAPID. So what the VRAPID does is it provides a source data analysis on the raw database, and it analyzes the source fields and what tables are included in the source data, and it also provides a summary of the data field to see the frequency, the values, and if there are any of the data anomalies. And so if from the scan report we see there are any of the data anomalies or any of the clinical values that it seems questionable, we then talk to the data owner to clarify if there's any questions or if there's any data anomalies we found from the VRAPID report. Also, the scan report is used further in the RAPID ahead for creating the ETL specification. And on the right side here we can see it's a summary. So on the right side here we can see it's a scan report that is generated by the BiRapid. And so here's a process flow that how we can further use the BiRapid, and I will be demonstrating of how to use BiRapid in a later section as well. So firstly we will have to specify the location of our databases and also the data types of the database. If it's CSV document or it's like Redshift MySQL, so we have to specify the parameters for our databases, and then we go to the second tab to use the scan function to include the table that we want to scan, and also from here if the databases was really big, we can specify the rows that we want to include in the scan document. Yeah. And here again is how we can add the databases and how we can specify the parameters during the scan report. And so what the Rapid does is it generates a scan report on the information on the source data, and also provides the data values, the table values from the source data. And so the scan report, it provides a summary of the source data, and if there are any of the data anomalies, and also the scan report is further used by Rapid to generate the ETL spec. Yep. So any questions with the BiRapid part? Yep. So I will take that as a no. So for the next one, I will provide an introduction about the Rapid which is also a very powerful tool in the ETL process. So the Rapid is it takes the scan report from the BiRapid, and it generates the ETL spec for the ETL development. So from here we can see it. So from here we can see the Rapid it provides a very interactive tools from the source data, and also to the OMAP CDM tables, and actually we can connect the and we can also connect different source data tables to the target tables, and source field to the target fields with the CDM tables. And one note here is that it generates the ETL spec for the development, but from the Rapid it doesn't generate the code. So for the actual ETL development, the ETL developer has to follow the ETL spec to write the SQL code for the ETL conversion. So for the Rapid it provides the table to table mapping. So from the source from the different tables in the source data to the targeting CDM tables, depending on the contents of the source tables, and also it provides the field to field mapping in the tables as well. So we can map the column. We can map the columns within specific tables to the target columns within the CDM tables. And also another thing I found it's really powerful and it's really helpful during the ETL conversion is that it provides the concept ID hints for the concept ID columns. So it specifies what are the standard concept IDs to be included for the concept ID fields, which is really helpful in the ETL development or in the later QC parts. So yeah, so any questions with the rabbit in a hat? Yeah. So so last but not least, I will introduce how we can actually get our hands on these tools and how we can use these tools to scan our data. So for the ViRabbit, I will use the ViRabbit to scan the SynPath data. So the SynPath data is a synthetic insurance data that we have in our databases. So can everyone see the ViRabbit?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, so here is a demo of the ViRabbit, and so on the first part, on the location part, we specify the data types, and among here, depending on the different types of the source databases, so you can specify if it's SAS format or Oracle format or Oracle format or like the other format, depending on where your data is stored at. So here I'm using the Redshift, so I will specify here as the Redshift, and also here is the server location, which is where your data has been stored at, and also here are username and password, and also the schema name that you have for your databases. Yeah. So all of these has to be specified in order to scan the databases. And so after we specify the location for our databases, we go to the scan tab. And so here we can we can add all of the databases in all of the source tables in our databases. And so here are what kind of source tables are included in our source data. And so also for here we can specify what's the amount that we want to scan. And so after we are adding all of the sort tables, so here we click the scan tables to generate the scan report. Okay. Yeah. And so, yeah, so I will also demonstrating of how we can use the a Rabbit High based on the scan report. So the Rabbit High also comes with the downloads of the ViRabbit package, which you can find on the GitHub, and all these tools are open. All these tools are open source. So to use the Rabbit hat. So here we click the file and open the scan report. Yeah, so here I have my previous scan report from the ViRabbit. So here I import the scan report. Yeah, and so here we can see what are the sort tables what are the tables that are in the sort data, and here on the right side is what are so here on the right side is the CDM tables in the databases. And so what we can to use the Rabbit Hub, we connect. So we are firstly we are connecting. So we are creating the mapping between the sort tables into the to the CDM tables. So as for an example, the beneficiary summary is a summary of the patient information in the sort data. So what I can do is I can drag here and click an arrow from the sort table to the CDM tables. And so this is a table to table mappings for from the sort data to the CDM tables. And if I click, yeah. See, yeah. And if I click on the arrows that I just created, it shows the source fields in the beneficiary summary and the target fields in the CDM tables. So here what I can do is I can create the field-to-field mappings. So for here I can also also create the arrows, create the mappings between the source field and the target field. So yeah. And also if I click on this concept IDs, it has the concept ID hints. So what are the standard concept IDs that we can use for this domain? So I think this is really helpful. This is really helpful if we are doing the actual ETL conversion to see what are the concept IDs that we can use for the field, and to generate the ETL spec. So here we can go to the generate the ETL documents, and it has the 3 different types of the documents that it can output. So also we can select the format we want, and it also puts outputs the ETL spec for our data analysis. So any questions with how to use the rabbit and the rabbit in hat?
Alrighty, well, thank you very much, Xialing, for the demo. Next, we are going to